Imagine that somehow you discovered a way to travel through time, but not to just any era, rather to the most important moment in Christian history, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. What would happen if you were there? Would you be able to change the fate of the Son of God? Or would you realize that everything was already written to happen exactly as it did? Get ready, because today we're going to dive deep into one of the greatest what-ifs in history. What would happen if someone traveled back in time to try to save Jesus from crucifixion? Now, let's begin. Imagine today is just another ordinary day. You're at home, relaxing, maybe scrolling on your phone or sipping a cup of coffee. The routine repeats itself as always. You decide to go out for a walk with your dog, and during this moment, you notice a strange glow beneath a tree across the street. You walk closer and find a small metallic device, something you've never seen before. It fits in the palm of your hand with a glowing screen and strange buttons. It looks like something straight out of a science fiction movie. You pick it up and notice an inscription on the side. Temporal coordinates recorded, Jerusalem, year 33 AD. You chuckle, thinking it must be some kind of prank. But curiosity gets the best of you. You press one of the buttons. Instantly, the air around you vibrates. A deep pulsating sound echoes in your ears. Everything starts spinning. Time seems to warp as a blinding light engulfs you. You feel your body being pulled forward, falling but never hitting the ground. And then, silence. You feel the heat of the sun burning your skin. You blink a few times, trying to adjust your eyes to the new reality. You are no longer in the present. Jerusalem, 33 AD. The smell of dust and animal dung invades your nose. The noise of bustling streets surrounds you. People speaking Aramaic, merchants calling out to customers, horses and donkeys carrying goods. You find yourself on a dirt road where the air is dry and thick with dust. Around you, simple but sturdy stone and wooden houses line the path. The sound of voices, hurried footsteps, and animals echoes in the distance. Then, as you lift your eyes, you see it, the imposing sight of Jerusalem. Your heart races. It worked. You are in the time of Jesus. But before you can explore, something catches your attention. Shouts, murmurs, an unusual commotion. You see dozens, maybe hundreds of people moving in the same direction. Some are crying, others are shouting words of hatred. Intrigued, you follow the crowd, pushed by the flow of bodies. With each step, you move closer to something monumental, until, in the middle of the crowd, you see him. A man covered in blood. He is barefoot, stumbling on the stone-paved road, carrying a massive wooden cross. His face is almost unrecognizable due to the bruises and wounds. His gaze is lowered, but there is something in him, something that makes you shiver. You feel a chill run down your spine. Your eyes meet his for a brief second. Time seems to freeze. And in that moment, you realize Jesus Christ is standing before you. Your heart pounds. Sweat trickles down your face, but you don't know if it's from the intense heat or the shocking scene before you. The crowd pushes you, screams, cries, but you hear nothing anymore. The world seems to fall silent. A shiver runs through your body. Something inside you whispers that this man is not ordinary, but still you can't believe it. It can't be him. Jesus? Is this real? You squint, trying to see better. Maybe this is a delusion caused by time travel. Maybe he's just an unlucky man about to be executed. But then, something strange happens. Despite the bruises, the open wounds on his face, and the evident pain consuming his entire body, he looks at you with compassion. There is no anger, no fear, no hatred, only a deep gaze, as if he already knows who you are. He stops for a second, staggering under the weight of the cross, and you almost move to help him. But before you can do anything, a Roman soldier strikes your back with the handle of a spear and says in Latin, "Move, keep walking." Jesus lowers his eyes, takes a deep breath, and keeps walking. A lump forms in your throat. What is happening? You never truly believed you would see this with your own eyes. You studied about him, heard stories about him, but never, not even in your wildest dreams, did you imagine you would be here. You pinch yourself. You are really here. It's happening. The smell of sweat, dust, and blood chokes you. Reality sets in. Jesus is being led to his death, and you can't do anything. A heavy weight settles on your chest. a growing despair. You feel the urgent need to do something. Time seems to slow down as you push through the crowd, trying to follow Jesus. But it's hard. The people are restless, the soldiers are vigilant, and every step you take, someone shoves you back. Then, you see him again. Jesus has fallen. The cross, too heavy for his exhausted body, slips from his shoulders and crashes against the ground with a dull thud. He is gasping for air, his face pressed against the hot earth, his disheveled hair covered in dust and sweat. He looks so fragile. Something inside you screams. You cannot just stand by. You cannot let this happen. You surge forward. Your body moves on its own, without thinking. You rush toward the Roman soldiers and shout, "Stop! This is a mistake!" Your own voice startles even you. The soldiers immediately turn, drawing their swords, surprised by your interruption. The crowd falls silent for a moment. Everyone looks at you. You don't understand. He is not a criminal. He must not die. One of the soldiers steps forward, frowning, clearly confused by the unfamiliar language you're speaking. His gaze is cold, merciless, like someone who wouldn't hesitate to silence anyone interfering with the execution. "Who are you? How dare you interfere with Rome's judgment?" Your heart pounds, sweat trickles down your neck. How do you explain? How do you make them understand? You turn to Jesus, hoping he will reinforce your plea, ask for help, demand justice. But he says nothing, he just looks at you, and then he speaks. But not in Aramaic, not in Hebrew, not in Latin. He speaks in English, your language. And to your complete astonishment, he calls you by name. A chill runs down your spine. How is this possible? Jesus says, "Everything must happen as it is written." Your eyes widen, a shiver runs down your spine. You look around. The soldiers do not react. The crowd continues murmuring. No one else seems to have heard, only you. Jesus spoke directly to you, and before you can say anything, he calls you by name again and continues. You should not be here. Your heart stops for a second. How does he know your name? How does he know you don't belong to this time? Before you can react, the soldiers shove you forcefully. You fall to the ground, scraping your knees against the rough stones. A soldier quickly yells at you, "Get out of the way!" This man has already been condemned. You try to get up, but it's too late. The soldiers pull a man from the crowd, Simon of Cyrene, and force him to carry the cross. Jesus looks at you one last time, the same look as before. Not of fear, not of hatred, but of acceptance. He knows what is coming, and he accepts it. Jesus turns and continues toward Golgotha, and you remain there, kneeling, unsure of what to do. You failed, or was it never your mission to stop this from happening? You're still on your knees, breathless, trying to comprehend what just happened. The world around you seems to spin. Your mind refuses to accept reality. Did you really see Jesus? Did he really speak to you? You look at the road where he was just moments ago. Now, only dust and footprints remain. The sounds of soldiers, the crowd, the hammering of crosses in the distance, all start to blur into the background. But then, something strange happens. You feel a warmth on your skin. Something begins to glow. You look at your hand. It's the device. It's blinking as if reacting to something. The glow intensifies, and before you can react, the ground disappears. A blinding flash engulfs everything around you. The sounds of the crowd vanish. The scorching desert sun is gone. The smell of blood and dust evaporates. You feel as if you're being pulled backward, away, further and further. Time and space collapse around you. You want to scream, but no sound comes out. And then, silence. Back to the present. You blink. The environment around you has changed. You're back. You're home. Your time. Everything looks normal. The same place as always. The same world as before. Your couch is there. The smell of coffee in the kitchen still lingers in the air. You think, was that a dream? It couldn't have been real. But then, you feel a sharp pain in your knees. You look down. Your heart stops. The scratches are still there. Red marks, small cuts. Exactly where you fell on the stones while trying to stop the soldiers. You touch the wounds, feeling the sting. It was real. You were there. You take a deep breath, trying to calm your mind. You saw Jesus Christ. You heard his voice. And then, you remember what he said. You should not be here. Your hands tremble. Your heart pounds in your chest. You don't understand until something catches your attention, something in your pocket. You swallow hard. Trembling, you reach in and feel something cold and metallic. You slowly pull it out and nearly drop it in shock. The time travel device is still with you. Your stomach churns. This doesn't make sense. The device disappeared when you returned. How is it still here? You stare at it. But something is different. The screen is on. A new message appears. Next destination, the day of the return. Your eyes widen. The day of the return? What does that mean? What is about to happen? You grip the device tightly. Your heart races. You realize that maybe your journey isn't over yet. And that is exactly what would happen if someone traveled back in time to the era of Jesus. No matter how much we tried to change fate, to stop the crucifixion, or to warn people about who he truly was, nothing could be altered. Why? Because it was already written. The death and resurrection of Jesus were not a mistake or an accident in history. They were a plan, a necessary sacrifice for the redemption of humanity. And maybe, if we traveled back in time, the greatest lesson we would learn wouldn't be about changing the past, but understanding that the past had to happen for the present to exist. Jesus knew this. He knew what was coming, and yet, he accepted it. Now, I want to hear from you. If you had the chance to go back to that moment, what would you do? Would you try to stop it? Would you accept what was happening? Would you have the courage to look into the eyes of Jesus? Leave your comment below. I really want to know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It helps the channel grow and brings more content like this. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos about mysteries and curiosities of the Bible. See you in the next episode. Until then.